and myself. Welcome, everybody. I was muted during the whole time. I was actually mentioning everything that was going here in the Breakout Racing League here in round 7 or 8, I believe it is at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, or even 6. Well, numbers are numbers. You guys will find out. As you can see there, we still have some of the drivers remaining in the qualifying session. We also have 3 drivers retired. There was a huge accident into the castle section earlier. So that, we've seen that before, haven't we? Multiple times at the moment. Jack is on the provisional pole. 139.3. He's 7/10 of a second quicker. But I'll tell you what, right now, if we go back to, we can't go back to that driver because he's out of the session, sitting in the fastest session. And go down to P8 there. Have the Jamie Walker there. Obviously, he's streaming this as well, so you can check that out on twitch.tv, Jamie Walker. Let's see if Jamie Walker's going to hook up the lap of all laps that you need to do here around Baku into the main straight, just basically on the loud pedal, 8th gear, just sitting here at the moment, probably shouting out to his Twitch fans. Crossing the line, will he get that provisional pole? Yes, he will get that provisional pole. He's stolen that provisional pole, but is it going to be enough? Can anybody else challenge him this evening? You can see Max Center at the moment has decided to elect to put those medium tire compounds going on a different strategy. That's going to be great. 11 drivers here. And I am the Beagles, and welcome. I should be joined in the commentary box sometime soon, obviously by one of the other legends of Breakout Racing League. And obviously there's so much racing and going on at the moment in Breakout Racing that we can't even broadcast it because, you know, there's the Twitch channels are used, the YouTube channels, everything is all being snatched up, so you'll be able to watch this one back later on X's Twitch channel, and that obviously is /XR_GTF1. No doubt you would know that because you wouldn't even be here right now listening to me. 8 minutes left of qualifying here in Baku. So the drivers now are really going to be putting either their outlaps there or be talking to Jeff down in the pit lane. It's going to be nice. It's a beautiful condition too here in Baku. Track temperature is 33 degrees. The air temperature is 26. Well, it's beautiful in Europe. Street slash non-street. It's obviously a street circuit because those barriers, they hold absolutely no prisoners if you happen to slap into them a few times. As you can already see, some of those drivers that's Javier, Cal the Goat, and Kangas. They visited those walls a little bit too much during the qualifying session. They will no longer be participating. So that is Exa at the moment, who we are streaming on his Twitch channel. And g'day Kangas, how you doing, mate? And Kangas, could you let us know there in the Twitch channel, in the Twitch chat, what happened, sir? Because I came a little late into the qualifying session because of the time zone difference. I thought I had about an hour to spare, but I didn't. Kangi, obviously you are retired from the session as well as your teammate. Where was it a binning somewhere? Don't say the castle section. Are you another castle victim this evening or not? The business end of the qualifying as we wait and anticipation. Kangas' answer there. Kangas in the McLaren. Both of the McLaren cars are out of this race this evening, so it's not going to be too good there for the team. Exa needs to get a time in if he wants to be battling it out there with the likes of Jax Capri, Asher, Senna, Max Penner, little Tequila Door. Javier, it's Jamie. I'm so used to the Spanish name. Jamie Walker on the provisional pole by half a second as well. This grid is really spread out there. Well, Kangas is saying Cal crashed on the castle section, so as I did, received a 5-second penalty grid because he is my back. Oh, so you have a grid penalty? It's not too bad actually because it's a smaller grid, so I wouldn't really think that's going to be the end of the world for you. Obviously you got the pace, so going to be a probably last to first run from Kangi this evening. I'll call you Kangi, mate. I'm an Aussie. I'll shorten everything up nice and sweet. So, we're on board with the Alpha Tauri driver here of Jack's, who's decided just to park that car and just let somebody literally park the car and let Senna go by. Actually, we go in the Max Senna at the moment. Let's go on and see what Max Senna's time will be in the Red Bull. 34.7. First sector, 1/10 down on the pace there of Jamie. So not too bad. Definitely looking at a second row here. We're going to navigate through the tricky section. This is the castle section at the moment. As climbing up the hill, you got a bit of sunshine in your eyes. The lens flare doesn't matter. He's nailed that pretty good. I'm impressed with the Red Bull driver doing a fantastic job here in. I forget where I am at the moment. Who cares? I'm just so focused on the Red Bull. We're in Baku. So, can he make that all-important middle sector? He needs to get around a 39. He has a 39. He has the fastest middle sector. So, he's right on the money. And if you want to bank on anything at the moment, if you're a gambling man, I'd be banking on the Red Bull, looking at a provisional pole. He needs this third sector. How is his rear wing? How is his downforce set up? That's the key, isn't it? Because it's going to be a long straight. Can he take it away from Jamie, or will he get behind? Yes, he will. The Red Bull driver on provisional pole this evening. You can see down there in the Red Bull garage. No, you can't actually, because there is no cameras. And I like Baku. And if you ever tried to drive there while drunk, absolutely not. So are you drunk, Genghis? You know that they tell you do not drink and drive, sir. You can drink and commentate. By all means, you are allowed to do that, but you're not allowed to drink and drive. Okay, so, Max Senna setting a statement by 0.3 of a second there over Jamie. Jamie is in the pit there watching that action on track, as well as Jack and Capri going, all right. Now I need to work on my A game, and I'm going to try to counteract that one. So, game is on between these drivers. We're on board with ARS. Asher in the Ferrari. 1.4 seconds off the pace and starting his flying lap there this evening. We'll get time. Has to get another one in. It's going to be really difficult. We're going to have to navigate this first corner here. There's a tyre on the road there. Don't worry about that. There gets a bit of a lock-up. Hopefully the tyre didn't catch him off guard there. That tyre should have retired a long time ago. Second 90-degree turn to the left here. Now you're going to get another Diero straight. This is basically just sit back, relax, chill. 8th gear, flat out, close to the wall, tuck it in, spot the apex. Here it is, a little bit of a lock up there, but that's good. Entry and exit that you want for the Ferrari. Now right-hand corner, once again, there's a little bit of lock up, so he's pushing like mad. And he's got now a sweeping left that kind of catches you off a little bit because it's not the same. And then to the right is your S's. Spot the apex, spot the chicane, not too heavy. 35.1. He's on the bubble here at the moment. He needs to be in the 34s, so he's not quite going to bring the pace, but climbing up through the castle section and not into the wall. Good entry, good exit, hitting the chicanes nice and easy, not too much, not to invalidate. Now to navigate around basically just a whole bunch of sweeping left-hand corners. There's one, there'll be another sweeping left, and there's a little one under a little drop a gear down here to 4th. Get the apex, get out wide, close to the wall. There it is, done it, tucked it in. Now you got a heavy braking here. Once again, he's making some gain here through the middle section. And that's it. After this point, it's all going to come down to the pure setup of the car, because those corners really aren't going to gain or lose you any time. It's going to be all about the reliability of the Ferrari engine, the reliability of your setup. 40.4 middle sector. He's going to be down the pace. Can he get... say P4, P5, very close. So there is at the moment business end of qualifying. Everybody else is almost on track. Some of the drivers are actually not on track at the moment. Go down to P8. No, there is no P8. P8's not even in the session. My telemetry glitch is giving me all sorts of issues. P4, the Capri, is just sitting there at the moment, waiting and waiting and waiting. Yeah, the stream title hasn't been updated, unfortunately, because as you can see, Exa is racing, so he no doubt will get a chance to update that stream title. I can't, but yeah, it's all sorted out. Obviously, this is Baku, definitely not Spain. Max Senna. Well, the Red Bull driver had already set a very good pace there at 138.5. He's 3 temps up on everybody else here. Jamie is also out on the track. Let's go to Jamie, currently in P2, or provisionally in P2 there, and a 34.9 first sector, and there it is, binned it into the castle section. Game over for the Alfa Romeo driver. Will that affect any other drivers on the track? I doubt so, because he is basically just hanging out there by himself. And it looks like there are drivers nursing a ton of damage. So Max Penner at the moment, P7, not doing too much on his time. And he will not be improving on that. The only person at the moment could probably improve would be little Tequila. That's the Williams driver running in P6 at the moment. Traffic is out of his way. DRS is activated. He needs to get a banker in this evening. Everybody else really isn't going to improve on their times now. 5 seconds of qualifying is over and everybody is practically in the pits at the moment. So let's see what the Williams driver can do. 34.7 first sector. That's very, very close. That's 1 temp down on Max Senna's pace. That's impressive. I know it'd be impressive, Williams. You can see the Williams team are very, very excited. And the guy's going to get through the castle section. He does it brilliantly. Hugging the apex is like you're hugging your favorite grandma. That is what the Williams driver is doing. He's got the pace there. Can he hook up this middle sector and see what sort of times he needs? A 39.5. That's what you want. You want to bring it to the likes of the Red Bull driver on provisional pole. Oh, very close there. Maybe could have made up a little bit of time, but don't worry about that at this point. You want to bring home a full fast lap here in Baku. 39.9. So he's 3 tenths down. You have to be in the back of your mind too as a Williams driver, now relying purely on your setup. Thinking about a row 2 or a row 3. I think P1 is out of the question this evening. But can he make his way up into, say, steal it from Jaxie? He does! Called it! Stealed it from Jaxie. Exactly. The Williams driver. And a final push. Did a brilliant job there. 138.9. Sorry, my apologies. 4 temp down on our provisional pole setter, which will, I no doubt think, be our pole setter with Maxi. Setting that 138.5. That will be your qualifying. And so we're going to go back to a little bit of replay there real quick there. And we do. I'm going to try to set that replay up before we get into the race so that we can get that all hooked up. My apologies about that. Now we can get that replay hooked up. You can see right there, that is the binning of all binnings of the Alfa Romeo driver. Basically deciding, you know what, just a little bit too much in there of Jamie, and he's visiting that barrier pretty quickly. So qualifying is done and dusted. Nobody's going to improve. It's going to be a center from Jamie, from Little Tequila, from Jack, from Capri, Ashta, Max Penner, Javier, Cal the Goat, Kangas, and Avar. No, I didn't get that name correctly. Who's in the country box with me this evening? Jeb, are you here? Can't hear you.
I am in
you
fact
are here, Jeb. Awesome. Good on you, bro. So you just got the...
sorry about that.
No, it's fine, mate. You got the business end of qualifying is over and done with this evening.
Oh, yeah?
Just make
Got
sure
11
your
drivers.
mic levels are all good. Hope everybody can hear you out there this evening.
Yeah, my computer fan's a little loud, so is that, I hope that's okay.
Absolutely fine, mate. I'm used to it here in Panama. If it almost sounds like there's rain there. So Max Center takes it away from Jamie, from Little Tequila, Jax, Capri, Ashta, Max Penner, Javier, Cal the Goat, Kangas, and Exeter. Rounds out your top 11 here. 3 of those drivers not setting a time there. Cal the Goat, Kangas, and Exeter. Kangas was chatting to me. Kangas, perhaps you're chatting to me a little bit too much in the Twitch chat and not getting your damn qualifying lap in this evening. Jebby, what do you think about this one in Azerbaijan?
Well, it's a pretty tricky one. As we saw there, Cal didn't set a lap time, and as we know, Cal has won every race so far this season. So we just have absolutely no reference point to go on here. What is Cal going to do from 9th place on the grid? So it's going to be an interesting one for sure.
You think he's playing with his food now, this deep into the season, just basically having fun there?
Yeah, maybe he's just decided not to qualify, try and do a last to first challenge.
I would not be surprised. Obviously, a man that has just like dominated. He probably get a little bit bored at the front too, doesn't he? He's like, hey, you know what? I mean, my microphone might be a little bit too loud down there as well. So, but yeah, that could be the case there. Drivers that are obviously dominating championships get a little bit bored. It's obviously a bit of a giggles and fun for them, but I'm sure the other drivers that are trying like mad to beat them, race as every single race in, race out. We shall find out, don't we? Now, we're going to get a formation lap underway. Are you in the session as well, too, Jebby?
Yep, I am watching now.
Excellent. So you're going to get the honours of calling the race start there. Any particular strategy you think this evening that these drivers are going to try? Obviously, at the moment, they're going to have Cal the Goats actually decided to go mediums, and Exa and Kangas have gone with the hards.
Yeah, obviously, these guys, the top 10, have set their time mostly on softs, while the top 8, who actually set times during qualifying, set times on softs, so they can't change. And of course, Cal, Exia, and Kaganus didn't set times, so they're obviously looking to run further into the race on harder compound tyres and try to get, the bit of the overcut over the soft tyres. So it'll really depend on Cal, Exia, and Kaganus' pace compared to the softs, and whether the guys on the softs battle enough to get that pit stop advantage in the early stages.
Absolutely good call. It looks like Cal at the moment and Javier are going to be starting on the coldest of all coldest tyres that there will be, because they'll be disqualified from the the formation lap session. So that means that those tyres will be reset to 0. It'll hurt Javier, I think, more than Cal, because Cal will be starting on those mediums. So this man just really just trying to mount up even more of a challenge, isn't he? Definitely starting at P9 and now starting on cold tyres.
Yeah, trying to get as much of his difficulty in as he can. See if someone else can get a win.
Does he? You think as a driver he really wants to give a win away? I don't think so. What do you guys think out there in Twitch? Max Senna at the moment, well, the Red Bull driver had pulled a very, very good qualifying session in, and we're going to see a repeat perhaps of a Red Bull in a provisional pole in basically, 1 day's time from now, as the real F1 will start in Bahrain.
Yeah, we certainly hope so, in that Mercedes dominance, but we'll have to wait for tomorrow to see for sure.
Well, one thing you don't have to worry about to wait for will be this round, and we have 26 laps of Baku here. So Max Senna from Little Tequila, look at that. Max Senna will be on the right-hand side of the track. He's going to have the racing line going in the corner. But Little Tequila is like, okay, well, if I can get a better launch than you, I can challenge you into that first corner. And there's the first couple of right-hand corners as well. You'll have one sweeping corner to the left and then another one to the left after that, and then a long off straights. No DRS will be activated, obviously, on the first couple of laps. So we'll find out as those lights will go 1, 2, 3, 4, and the famous Murray Walker would say, and 5 laps, and away we go. In honor of one of the best commentators of all time that we've sadly departed. Here we go. Max Senna and dead. Little Tequila did bring that challenge. He has made that work. That's fantastic for him. I kind of thinking about that track position doesn't really count too much. He's going to have the inside line here as well. So that means Max Senna's going to have to lift off there. Look at Capri in the background there challenging. Jax is in the mix as well. And Max Senna's dropping another position out. Now the McLaren driver's gone around the outside. And Max Senna's under pressure now. He's dropped back to P4. And he's got the Ferrari driver for a, what do you call it? Like a tag, like a little bit of a backup, a drag strip. So this is fantastic here. Little Tequila up into P1. Capri and Jax will round out your top 3.
Yeah, very interesting start there, of course. Little Taquito getting that move done at the start, getting a little too deep into turn 2. Unfortunately, Max Senna was right alongside him and got clattered into the wall a little bit, so he had to back off on the straight, and both Cappy and Jack got past him. But now they're in a little procession, they're on a line. Of course, the middle sector of Baku is very, very difficult to overtake and cleanly. So a lot of drivers are just going to be sitting behind, soaking up the slipstream, and hoping nobody tries to upset the status quo as we go into the long final sector of the circuit.
You exactly called it right there, mate. Jebby, thank you very much for the commentating. Join me in the box this evening. It's going to be really crazy to do this one all alone, and we really appreciate that. No DRS is enabled just yet, and it's going to come down to that setup that these drivers have, the downforce, because that's long straight, the longest straight in the Formula 1 calendar as well. You're basically sitting there in 8th gear, These drivers even get out there and twitch, I believe, during this straight. That's how much time they have. But you'll get that little tequila now has gone almost out of that DRS range as the telemetry glitch will do the usual thing in lap 3 where it just goes all over the place. So we'll just have to keep an eye on what's going on. Just ignore those changes and so forth because the positions haven't really changed at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately that's Cal and Kaganus, and I do believe that was Exia as well, going into the pits. Of course, first lap Baku, a few people have got wing damage, and unfortunately for these three who sort of started right at the back, that's going to mean that they're even further behind the field, and you can see Cal on the hards now. He's just going to have to try and push, overcut, and see what he can do with the strategy.
Exactly. Little Tequila's still leading this race at the moment, even though the telemetry is not showing that. So he's got a bit of a gap forming already. You can see that battle behind him there of Capri and Max Senna. Capri doing a good job there too. As I said, elbows out. Well, why not? Blue flags are being waved already for some crazy reason. I don't think that's even possible. Being lap 2 of 26. And the telemetry has now fits itself out, so that's what you see is what you get for the actual positions on track. Max Panna now really mounting a challenge, isn't he? He's mounting a challenge enough to make an overtake here. So the AlphaTauri driver trying to drive around the outside here of Max Panna in the the Mercedes. Can he get the job done?
Jack glancing off the wall there. He's got wing damage. His end plate's gone.
He's going to be a huge pressure then, isn't he? He needs that downforce, and box is the call for the team.
Yeah, really unfortunate for Jack there. He was really fighting Mix Pinner for the position, but unfortunately he tried to go side by side into the S section, and Baku really doesn't like that. She had to remind him who's boss, and he's going out onto the hards now, and he's lost all that track position.
Hey, Jeb, what do you think of this battle at the moment for Max Center on the back of Capri? He wants his position back. Remember, he was the man that qualified in P1. He's in P3. He doesn't want to be liking that, does he? He wants to get these overtakes done as quickly as possible.
Absolutely not. I've raced with Mick Senna before, and he's a furious battler. He's incredible at making up time. You know, after this little mistake on lap 1, it's lap 3, and he's already banging on Cappy's door saying, let me in. I want that position back. It was mine. You stole it. So he is right on the back bumper of Cappy now. Cappy is just outside Little Taquito's DRS range, and Little Taquito is going to be sweating in his boots, trying to get as far ahead of Cappy as possible before Senna gets past and starts hunting him down.
I love that. I was giggling in the background as you said those fantastic commentating remarks there, Jeb. Good on you, bro. I'm sure everybody in the Twitch world, everybody's going to be happy about that. So this battle here is forming thick and faster. Capri's caught on the back of our race leader as well. So Little Tequila now is becoming the Little Tequila train under the virtual safety car. Virtual safety car that will be for one of the drivers that looks like the McLaren driver. That's the teammate there of Cal the Great. Has decided, well, he's goated it. A championship leader's done and dusted out of this race.
It will be the first race not won by Cal today in the entire season. So there's going to be some seriously interesting stuff coming through now. Unfortunately, the buggy virtual safety car's coming through, and I think Exia just got a drive-through penalty for some reason. Codemasters, fix your game, but a lot of cars pitting now. There's a few strategy calls going on. Asher coming into the pits, Senna coming into the pits, Taquito coming into the pits, and we've got Cappy leading from Penna, leading from Javier, and leading from Jamie.
Exactly. The top four actually electing to stay out. Doesn't really affect them because the teams are not at play as well. Only Javier and Jamie are the only two drivers on the same team, so they would double stack, but nobody else would double stack. So obviously Capri didn't have to worry about it because Cal the Goat has binned his car out of this race. McLaren driver leading by 6.8 seconds in this race. Pit stop around here is going to cost you about 30 seconds. That'll drop him all the way back to basically where Jack is in P8 this evening.
Yeah, Cappy historically hasn't quite been around the top of the field. He's usually around the midfield or the lower half of the pack. So leading out here, he's going to be happy as a pig, and, well, I can't say the word. There are probably a few younger people watching the stream, but he'll be just lapping it up, leading by 6.7 seconds. He'll be watching his mirrors for Penna, surely, but while you've got it, you might as well flaunt it.
Fantastic. Where are you coming up with these remarks this evening, sir? Clip these, guys. Clip these. This is brilliant. Jeb's on fire. You know what? I love it. Jeb, you deliver these fantastic commentating remarks, which is just such cool. It's like you're the Iceman of commentating, I'd have to say, this evening. Just like you just deliver it in the, I don't know, such a cool, relaxed way, don't you? Let's see if the little tequila can bring it. He's got fresh tires. He's got fresh mediums. This versus Asher there in the Ferrari. As Jamie will be boxing up ahead there, so they will not be in the mix there, and it's going to be a straight line speed with the DRS. You would expect that should be an easy job done, and it certainly will be. Look out for Max Center behind now in P6, watching this overtake, studying this overtake, and getting ready to try to do the same thing on the Ferrari that the Williams driver just did.
Yeah, there we go. There was Taquito on Asher. Of course, Asher on the harder compound. Asher didn't have DRS, Taquito did. And that was probably just, your standard overtake. Taquito sliding around on that 1.1 kilometer straight and just taking 4th place away. Asher may want to knock back round at him, but unfortunately he's got Senna breathing down his neck right now, so...
Capri's off! Capri is off! Sorry to cut you off there, Jebby. Capri has made a mistake, our race leader. The McLaren has basically binned it somewhere on the track that it will be through basically. It might have just been coming out of Castle. So he's in big, big trouble. Does he have damage? No doubt he would have to have damage because the walls take no prisoners here and they will not take no prisoners. He's losing an end plate. He's in big trouble. Well, not
Definitely,
a very good day for McLaren.
For sure. Oh no, that's gutting.
Absolutely. You would think that after leading this race, he's sure he was happy. He had a big gap as well. He was obviously pushing, but pushing a little bit too much. Was he feeling the pressure?
Yeah, you lead the race and you lead and just when you think you've got it covered, something like that happens and your hopes just plummet to the floor. Disaster.
But I still say plenty of time to go. As you can see, the battle between Little Tequila and Ash. And that ain't on where I'm bored with Senna. He's got the bird's eye view. He has the golden view of this battle. And I'm sure he's sitting back here in the Red Bull going, okay, guys, battle it out, battle it out, battle it out. Because I'm going to sit here and try to snap up any of the positions if you guys make a mistake. It's also very dangerous, isn't it, when you're following two drivers battling. Because if one person makes a mistake, all of a sudden you could be into the side pod of that car up ahead.
Yeah, he'll be sitting behind, rubbing his hands like Emperor Palpatine as these two rub wheels. Asher locking up there into the chicane. Lil Taquito getting a little too drifty over the curb. And does Senna, he's pulling out? No, not quite. Doesn't quite go for it. But he's going to be sitting behind these two just waiting and waiting for a mistake. Lil Taquito starts falling off slightly, and Asher is starting to try and pull that 1 second gap, deprive Taquito of that DRS, and take that P2 once and for all for himself.
Absolutely fantastic. I don't know how many... I don't know, I've been commentating for about a year, and I've never heard a reference of Emperor Palpatine rubbing his hands. Carl, where are you getting these from, Jeb? Is there like a commentating book of the fantastic racing puns? It looks like Capri at the moment is getting past Javier. So Javier's like trying to do a 20-point turn in a very, very short straight. So Javier now in a bit of a big trouble. He's back on track, but
Taquito's got damage. He clattered the wall a bit there, but he's not pitting.
He's decided to elect against Jeff's wishes. Jack is squabbling at the moment there as well. If I hit the right key. My apologies on that one. There's Jack on the back of Jamie. This is a battle for P5 at the moment. Jamie's obviously streaming this. You can check that one out. Twitch.tv Jamie. Oh, looks like Jack didn't like the camera and didn't like the spotlight of Twitch. He needs to back off a little bit on that one. That's the AlphaTauri. On the hard tyres, but he knows he's going to go a lot deeper into this race as Kangas is boxing as well as Javier. Javier's actually decided, you know what? I'm going to get that, and then I'm going to have the drink with Kimi Räikkönen. Go to Max
Sorry
Senna.
about that.
Go to Max Senna at the moment, mate. Putting the pressure on the Ferrari. Where can you get the job done? You're a driver.
Well, definitely not in Castle, obviously. You'd have to be insane. So I'd say, if you wanted to be intelligent, I'd bide my time till the straight, wait till Asher gets out of the S section before the straight, flip the DRS easy as you like, and speed on past.
Oh, it sounds so easy, doesn't it? But it's not. These drivers, I don't know. Well, as a driver for me, that is not a tall order. Oh, behind him, it looks like little Tequila is really not happy with that Williams right now. He's lost even more end plate damage. He's going to have to box. Max Senna doesn't need to worry about that battle behind him. He needs to focus on this battle up ahead, the Ferrari driver. Remember, too, Max Senna is the only driver has not boxed on their tyres. And this battle at the moment between the Ferrari and Red Bull, and I hope you're going to see that this season in Formula One. Who's going to get past? Who's going to get the job done? I think it's Max Senna. I think they listened to you out there, Jeb, didn't they? They took your advice.
Yeah, easy as you like, you know, my old catchphrase, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He took that and he ran with it. And now he's just going to go into 2, and Asher, he just can't fight back. He's locking up the tyres. I think they may have overheated slightly, but Senna, he doesn't care about that. He's off in the distance. He's going to defend from Asher into 3, and Asher's just not close enough to make the move.
Oh, but it's Senna's. He's forced Senna into the wall, exactly. So that might have paid off for the Ferrari driver. Psychological warfare at play. And why not? It's worked brilliant. Max Senna now is nursing damage, and he's in big trouble.
Absolute disaster there for Max Senna. That was some real reverse psychology from Asher, who slips back through with a cheeky wink, and off he goes into Castle. And Senna, just with that damage, I think that'll be yellow wing, no end plate, and he'll be limping back, maybe even to pit now. So that's a disaster.
Oh, I can't believe you just used the word chinky wink. It's absolutely brilliant. Somebody needs to clip all these remarks. You know what, Jeb? I miss you commentating, mate. This is fun, isn't it? This is great. And you know what? The drivers are producing it, and Baku is producing another great race. But when is Max going to box? That's the key, isn't it? He's probably sitting there waiting for a safety car. He's probably tuning into the Twitch feed right now, listening to this going, I can hear all this carnage going on behind me. So obviously, no doubt, no point, there's going to have to be a safety car.
Hello, boys.
Hello. Who's just joined us here? That's Exy. Exy,
Yes.
what happened to your race as we're watching Max Senna put a challenge here on the Ferrari? Same tyres, but different horsepower and DRS at play. 17 kilometers an hour down the main straight into the first corner here. Can the Red Bull make it stick? I think he can. But can the Ferrari mount a challenge back here into the second corner? It's all about the exit. Ferrari driver will obviously have a DRS again here. And look at this battle. Once again, the Ferrari driver is not going to give this up. The prancing pony with the DRS activation now into turn 4. Locking up a little bit. The Red Bull got to keep that out of the wall. We saw too many of these drivers this evening losing thousands of dollars of carbon fiber into those walls. And I think Red Bull has a chance there. Is Max Senna now really... The Ferrari driver's got that job done, hasn't he? He's up the road. Same tyres. Same cars, really. Just aesthetically they look different. But at the end of the day, the engines are the same through the castle section. Yeah, anyway. So, Exy, what happened to your race, sir? You've retired there, P9.
Yeah, I am also, I was on a stock setup, so I didn't have a custom one. Because I thought, oh, well, I'll just retire, because I had asked everybody else, if I retire, I could still load a setup, and everybody was like, yeah. I was like, okay. And then I retired, and then we realized, oh, I can't load a setup. And then I'm also learning a whole brand new wheel and pedal assembly. I picked up a Fanatec DD1, so so I'm just trying to learn all that. It's definitely a lot different than the Thrustmaster stuff.
My apologies. It was a car. It looked like that was completely off that they ghosted through there.
I think that's Max Pina.
That's Max Pina, the race leader.
It is. Is it?
Yeah, he's turning around right now.
That's...
Oh, no.
Oh, wow. Effie just went straight through him. He's in the middle of the main straight trying to do a Ragunathan turn. My God. He's just sitting there.
Oh.
What happened to him?
I don't know at the moment, guys, but it seems to me that this track is cursed. If you're in P1, you're in big trouble. Somehow, everybody that's been leading this race has made crucial mistakes. I think Max Center at the moment is going, I'm happy with P2. I'll take that one, because if P1, that seems to be the problem. Well, Max Center, well, you just get past the Ferrari driver. I don't know. Max, if you want to get past the Ferrari driver, so far, everybody that's been leading this race has binned it.
Well, I have noticed when I was in the group with all the other drivers, a lot of the drivers were talking about how, for some reason, this race, all the cars were feeling a lot different than qualifying. The cars were feeling a lot more edgier, and they were sliding around. And I noticed that when you come into that fast left-right-hand section before you get onto the main straight, your cars have a tendency of washing out just a little bit. So, I mean, that's probably what's throwing off a lot of these drivers here.
Well,
Insights from the cockpit, huh?
Insights from the cockpit. Well, insights from the commentary box now, because his cockpit's absolutely smashed, and he's had to join us up in the commentary box this evening in the air conditioning. No doubt you've cooled off a little bit there, but unfortunately not cooling off of any champagne this evening, Exa. But I'll tell you what, Cal the Goat is not in this race, and he's our championship leader. So who do you think can, and out there, predictions-wise, who will be taking Baku home and taking the top step of the podium?
Honestly, if nothing happens with these two front runners, honestly, Asher's debut race here, I really, as Senna gets a 3-second time penalty, I mean, he could pull it off, but I know Jamie's pretty quick, and Cappy loves this track. He told us this in the chat prior to the race and in the actual driver's voice channel that, he loves Baku. So, I mean, he may make a comeback towards the end. I mean, anything can happen. We still have, 15 laps to go?
Yeah, well, Capri as well. I call him Cap. You call him Cappy. I call him Capri. He obviously dropped a few positions there from the start as well. So just not that race launch into the corner there. How was your race start too, by the way, there, XE?
How was my what?
Race start.
My race start was okay. I moved up some positions, and then it seemed like once everything kind of settled in, that's when all the custom setups came in. I couldn't touch anybody on the top end. I had to use maximum fuel and slam on the overtake button. Actually, I spent the first lap trying to figure out which button on the wheel was the overtake button.
You mean to say all your years of driving, all season long, you haven't figured that button out yet? Oh, that's right, you have a new rig.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
And
So-
it is a little different with the V3 pedals where they vibrate when it tells you like you're about to lock up and the traction. So yeah, it's definitely
Seriously?
definitely interesting.
The pedals vibrate?
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's fantastic. So to all the ladies out there watching, you need to get yourself what model they need to buy for vibrating pedals? That's too soon. All right, so here we go. Lap 12 of 26. We can have a bit of a giggle, can't we? So Jamie's up 4. Ash is up 4. Senna is dropped 1. Capri's staying. Really, where's Capri's been staying this evening here? Jaxie's down 2. Little Tequila was really battling her as well too, but making a little bit of an error on the Williams driver. Bit of a gap forming between these drivers now. A lot of time. Most of them obviously are on the hards or the mediums, as you can see right now. Penalties, well, all the drivers have 3 seconds penalties. I wouldn't worry too much about that. I'll slap that up real quick, actually. So we have a 5-second penalty for Jax. We have a 5-second penalty for Kangas and Max Penna. So whether they'll have to serve those through the pit stops or that'll be slapped on to the end of the race.
What's interesting is Senna's got a 3-second time penalty, and Jamie is now 2.7 seconds back from him.
And are you expecting these tyres to run to the end of the race? Yeah. That'll be for the McLaren.
Cappy. There you go, spins it round, but that's his front wing completely gone. He's pulling into the escape road.
Yeah, he's parking that car right now. He's trying to do a Daniel Ricciardo. Don't reverse. Daniel Ricciardo, don't reverse. He did.
Senna got another 3-second time penalty.
It's got no front wing on that McLaren right now.
Oh,
McLaren's
no.
day
Shame.
is done and dusted. So hopefully McLaren this weekend in Bahrain will do a little bit better this evening than what has happened here for Breakout Racing, PC division. So that is game over for him. The AI has taken over the car. Let's see if Max Senna can bring it right now to the Ferrari. These guys have been squabbling left, right, and centre, haven't they?
Yeah, a bit of a disaster, of course, for Cappy, but Asher and Senna have been battling for the best part of, 5-6 laps now? And that's allowed Jamie to pull. He was 5.5 seconds behind, don't forget, 5 laps ago, and now he is right there. He is just 2 seconds behind Senna, less than 3 seconds off the race lead, and he is going to be hunting them down because, like Asher, he has no damage, he has no penalties, and he is on newer, fresher, and smoother tyres than these two. So there's going to be a real battle here. Asher and Senna on the older hards versus Jamie catching up on the mediums.
You called it absolutely brilliantly right there, Jeb, a.k.a. Jeff. That's the strategy. It's come and play. You can see there he's eating into that time a little bit. He's got the fresher tyres, he's got the fresher boots. He just needs to eat. He's probably sitting back at the moment on team radio going, let these two guys battle it out. Let these guys burn through their tyres. And he'll sit there and just basically steal that race win away, really, at this point, if he can just hang with this battle.
Yep, absolutely. Senna's wing damage, of course, it prevents him from trying to make a move on Asher, but Asher isn't quite fast enough to break away from Senna, so Jamie, all he has to do is sit tight, don't get himself into trouble, and he might be the one tasting champagne today.
It's heating up thick and fast. It's gladiators, isn't it? Gloves are off. Racing is on. 9 laps between the two drivers here in P1 and P2. They're on the same tyre compound. They boxed on lap 3, switched over to the hard tyres, which is what you can see right now that they're on. Look out for, remember, Jamie in the background is just sitting there as a spectator, essentially, watching this and slowly catching this pack at the front. What do you think is going through the minds of Max Senna, nursing a 6-second penalty right now? Asher must be looking pretty good. Must have a bit of a smile on his face there in Ferrari. Going, you know what? Yeah, you got to get, for one thing, I can hold you up. For another thing, well, you have 6 seconds penalties.
Absolutely. Having penalties is probably the most crushing feeling as a driver you can get, going just over the curb a little bit there and getting that boom 3-second time penalty on your screen, and you just go no, and you know you have to keep racing. But God, if I was Mick Senna right now, so close to the race lead yet so far away, I'd be tearing my hair out.
And yeah, you've already had one Star Wars reference this evening. Would that be the no from Darth Vader that was added into one of those movies or not? We should find out. Now, and speaking of everything you've just mentioned, the Alfa Romeo is catching that Red Bull like he's doing the Kessel's run in 5 parsecs down the main straight. There's your Star Wars reference, and I think that will definitely have to be job done. Those medium type. Oh, that's because Max Senna's decided to box.
Yeah, he'll be, I think, going on to the mediums for the rest of this race, doing the last 11 laps on the mediums. And yep, look at me, a psychic.
You are. So these are not the cars you're looking for. More Star Wars references and puns are coming thick and fast this evening, but we're going to see this battle between P1 and P2, between Jamie and Asher. Asher, as you had mentioned there before, Exa, that this is something you would like to see that Ferrari driver really win this race, but I don't think Jamie wants to see him do that, does he?
Jamie, absolutely not. This is sort of the Jedi Knight versus the youngling, Ferrari versus Alfa Romeo. Of course, if Asher wins this race, and this was real-life Formula 1, he'd be the first driver to win on debut since Giancarlo Baghetti in 1961. So it would really be in addition to his credentials. But Jamie, he's on softer tyres, he's on newer tyres, and he is not going to let this go. He's going to sit behind Asher, he's going to pick his moment, and he's going to fly past.
He's going to fly past in a galaxy far, far away, because even Jeppy's getting the Star references. Jeppy, you've been doing your homework, haven't you? I don't even know that much information about this track. Here we go. Jeppy, call this one, mate. If you got all the commentating puns thick and fast here in Baku on lap 15 at 26. Well, mate,
Here we go then,
keep it flowing.
exiting the air. And that's going to be DRS in just a second. Asher looking in his rearview mirrors, seeing that Alfa Romeo looming up. And there you go. There he goes to the inside. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He'll take that and run with it. Cheers, mate. See you later. And Asher just backs off there into turn 1. There's nothing he can do. And off goes the Alfa Romeo.
Exactly. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Is that like a Kiwi barbecue, per se, that he's just caused there? Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That is your trademark, by the way, too, out there, guys, if you did not know
Absolutely.
that. Jebby's commentating trademark is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Forget about your lights out and away we go, Crofty. I love that breakfast, lunch, and dinner way, way more than that. So, yes, he's on up the road on lap 16 of 26. Who else is going to bring it this evening, do you think? Obviously, Max Senna's on fresh boots, but he's 22 seconds down the road.
Yeah, I do believe that'll be it. I'm not sure if the mediums can go to the end, though, here. Asher might be able to stretch the hards to the end, but I'm really not sure whether Jamie's mediums are going to go to lap 26, so we'll have to see.
Max Senna at the moment is the other Mex. Well, it's a Mex. They're not either from Mexico, but I have to say, arriba, 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 get this done. Mucho rapido. Here we go. Down the main straight. Ken Penna, and he obviously has the NA in his name, so obviously he is from some sort of Latin American country. Does get the job done, doesn't he? 5 lap tires versus 10 on Kangas. Get up the road there. 39 seconds to catch Jack. Tall order.
Yeah, Kagan is there with the DRS, but it's just too far ahead. Mix Penna had that overtake in the bag, and Kaganis on the 5-lap older hards. I don't think he's going to be fighting back for P5 here, but P6, still, it's a creditable finish, and if he can just keep his nose clean to the end, I think he'd be happy with the nice 8 points.
All points are available for every driver this evening. We have 7 of them. Little Tequila was putting up a fantastic battle at the start of the race. Now running in P7, now running 13 seconds away from Kangi. As Max Senna proves to everybody, well, that's the reason why Red Bull has the wings, doesn't it, this evening? And wings is exactly one thing you need here in Baku, because you don't want to be slapping into those into the walls, as a few drivers already have proven this evening. So can Asher get that 1.4 second gap to Jamie and try to bring his first victory for the Ferrari driver? And we'd like to see a Ferrari driver, obviously. We'd like to see also an Alfa Romeo driver winning a race. But that means it's going to come down to how well those medium tyres of Jamie will hold out for the rest of the race.
Here we go, yep, Asher just falling behind a little bit. He's on the older hards, and realistically he cannot expect to keep up now with Jamie, but Jamie is probably going to have to pit. If you look at Jamie's steering wheel, you can just about see that his tyres are starting to heat up, and those are going to have a negative effect on his tyre wear. He's going to have to pit surely before the end of this race, which begs the question, will Asher need to pit before the end of this race, or will he stretch it onwards and manage to beat Jamie?
That is an absolutely brilliant question out there, obviously on the Twitch world, but we can't be streaming on the main BRL stream at the moment because there's other racing going on. So this will be more of a replay coming back. So unfortunately we won't have that Twitch engagement that we used to. I like to ask, obviously, everybody in Twitch there what they're feeling about this. So obviously you and I, Jebby, have to just run away with this one. We must feel like we're actually broadcasting a real F1 race as David Croft and Martin Brundle, because they don't have the interaction that Jamie made a little bit of a mistake into that corner, cost him at least 0.2 of a second. Also, even 0.3 of a second there. So you can see right now, Jamie's actually not in control of this car. There's an X next to his name. Now he's back in control. That may have been the reason why there was a mistake. And now there's half a second between, and he's also not in control of the car again. What's going on? We don't want to see drivers having technical glitches when there's such fun racing between them. And that's going to be all disappointing, isn't it? For a man that was leading this race and now under huge pressure from the Ferrari. It even looks like Asher's just basically, to me, it must feel like Ash has taken... Oh, no, he's joined and rejoined and joining again. I think the Ferrari driver is actually just lifting a little bit and saying, you know what, I want this battle to be real, and I don't want you to be, out of control of your car or disconnected.
That's the sportsmanship we like to see here in racing. And I'm not sure what's going on there, but Asher takes the position, goes straight through Jamie as if he was a ghost or something. Not sure why that would be, but Jamie just getting left behind a little bit there. And Jack is out of the session. And yep, he did spin before when Jamie disconnected. Unfortunately, we were a little preoccupied, but Jack is just done. And I'm on board with Max Penner right now to see what happened to Jack, but it's a disaster. Jamie in the pits. It's all kicking off now, and we're only 7 laps from the end.
Yeah, let's go on board with Max Penner at the moment. You can't see the car has been returned very, very promptly and very quickly. Virtual safety car there. Well, it should not be a full safety car, obviously, because they got rid of that damaged, stricken AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri. I get that mistaken correctly. So DRS is now re-enabled. Game on again. Max Penner now is caught up to the back here of Jamie. And Jamie has reboxed, come out with some fresh soft boots.
Yeah, that virtual safety car came at the perfect time for Jamie. He lost a lot less time than he ordinarily would have. He's only 13 seconds down the road, and in 7 laps with a new set of soft tyres, I don't think 13 seconds, or 12 seconds now actually, is altogether that outlandish of a gap to close.
You say only, exactly, but you're right, because you're gaining about half a second a lap at least on these fresh boots. Got to still make them go to the end, so you don't want to chew through them too quickly, too fast. Remember, they are burning through the fuel loads as well, so that we'll take it easy on the tyres a little bit. Asher, now in the lead of this race by 11 seconds, can try to nurse those hard tyres to the end of the race. If he can, that's also a key to that. Max Penner obviously is going to be crucial here. 3 laps of mediums versus 1 fresh out of the blankets. Red striped tyres. You can even smell the burning rubber coming off them. I'll tell you what, Max Penner is still doing a pretty damn good job keeping almost within DRS range. Now dropping a little bit, obviously, on the main straight there. 3 temps, no doubt. And what can Jamie do now to our race leader? That's the key, isn't it? He's 10 seconds away. It's not the end of the world. We're on lap 20 of 26. If you look at that math, you do your math on that one. If you can shave almost a second a lap to our race leader, you might have a great final couple of lap battle for P1.
Little Taquito there. Sorry to change the focus of the action, but little Taquito doing a Charles Leclerc at the the castle section. He's just given the wall a little tap, given it a pat on the head, and now he is limping back to the pits.
You don't want to be giving any walls a pat in the head, do you? This evening here in Baku, especially not on this street circuit. 6 drivers remaining. There's guaranteed points up for grabs, so all you need to do is basically drive that car home for another 7 laps, and you will be getting points this evening. But points is not what drivers want. Champagne is what drivers want. And that's something that the Ferrari driver wants. Now, Jamie lighting up the time boards. A 35.8 first sector. Now, to put that in comparison, Asher did a 37.2. So he is doing the job that he's been tasked to. He's all shaved 2 seconds out of the middle sector. So now on this lap, he could be looking at shaving almost, 5 seconds? Are you kidding? He is. Look at this. 7 seconds now behind the Ferrari. So these tyres are proven to be brilliant, but a 141. There it is. A 141.6 last lap from Jamie. A 145.1 from Asher. Now on the radio, obviously, you know this, Jebby. The team on Jeff is in your ear going, that guy just took 5 seconds, almost 5 seconds a lap out of you in the last lap. That pressure must be mounting right now, wouldn't it, if you're on that Ferrari?
Absolutely, you've gone on the overcut, you've played your cards right, and you're just sitting there in the cockpit, and suddenly you look at the timing boards, and Jamie he's like a shark in the water. He's seen the blood, and he is absolutely coming. And all Asher can do is pray that Jamie runs out of road before Asher runs out of steam.
Wow. Wow. If you don't clip that one, that's a brilliant commentating. Oh, that's absolutely amazing. Where do you come up with this, by the way? Where did you come up with this?
I don't. It gets out of me somehow.
It gets out of you, and I'm glad that gets out of you because that is entertaining commentary 101 right there. Those choice words are brilliant, and it certainly will be bringing the entertainment to this race here. This is Baku. We're on lap 21 and 26, the PC Tier 1 division. We've lost a lot of drivers this evening, but we still have 6 of them, and we still have a cracking end to this race because now Jamie is down to 4.1, sorry. He shaved another second out in the first sector. He saved another 2 seconds out of the second sector, and in just a matter of time, Jamie might be looking at taking his breakfast, dinner, and actually breakfast, lunch, and dinner soon, wouldn't he, there, JB? I probably screwed up your remark on that one, but here you go. It's game on.
Jamie will be hoping so, but remember, gaining time is nowhere near as difficult as actually managing to pass. And on a technical circuit like Baku, where the middle sector is practically, hands off, no chance of overtaking, Jamie is going to be hoping he can close the gap enough so that he gives himself enough time to pass Asher before the race ends. So we've really got Asher here sitting in the cockpit, sort of gripping the wheel really tightly here, and Jamie is just hunting him down, trying to get through and get to a point he can actually overtake before the race ends.
Absolutely brilliant, isn't it? I love this. It's not, there's not a lot of racing entertainment going on track at the moment, but this P1 and P2 battle is definitely bringing a cracker of a thrilling race, and we're loving that these two drivers are producing this entertainment for us this evening, as you mentioned. So if you're in the cockpit right now, you're on the helm of that Ferrari driver of Asher. You've been doing such a brilliant job. As you could see there, only basically within 5 laps, that trophy could be yours. That top step could be yours. At some point, the podium will definitely be yours. But you don't want just a P2 or P3. You want that P1. But there is a very, very angry Alfa Romeo behind you. So what can he do? How can he defend? How can he just basically efficiently just position his car in all the right places and try to defend off an angry Alfa Romeo in the last couple of laps?
Unfortunately for Asher, we've still got lap 23, 24, 25 and 26, so that's 4 full laps of racing, and I really don't think he's going to be able to defend a 1 second gap in that time as Jamie comes tearing down the straight now. He's within DRS, he's got the slipstream, and he is just going to be passing Asher. The Hans Zimmer music is being cracked out again, and the drums are playing, and here's Asher just sitting there, knowing his time is up, and knowing his moment is coming. He's going to have to defend with everything he's got for the last 4 laps here in Baku for the race win.
Oh my god, it's music exhibit. I can hear the Formula 1 music in the background there. It's like dun dun dun. There it is. At the moment, Javier is now caught in big time. I think Asher got a little bit of a break there because he got the back mark, he got the DRS. But one thing at the moment, he doesn't want to be looking in his mirrors because the Alfa Romeo driver in the same powered car, same powered Ferrari, even though they are equal, will just pretend that there is something different between the two drivers. What's not different is the battle. And you can see at the moment there, Asher's really struggling with those tyres, isn't he? It's only a matter of time.
Here we go then, and I think this will be where Asher's lead falls to Jamie, coming out of the S section, and here we go. Jamie's got the run, Jamie's got the slipstream, Jamie's got the DRS. Asher's going to be looking to his left just to wave that lead goodbye, and there goes Jamie. And I don't think Asher is going to be able to fight back. Jamie takes that debut win away, and Asher is just going to sit behind, screaming in frustration. And that's it. There's nothing he can do.
He must be feeling like Sebastian Vettel right now in the Ferrari, really. He's just gutted and gutted and gutted after such a brilliant drive. That strategy call has not worked out. He has to bring this car home now on 19 lap hard tires. He's just been overtaken like taking candy from a baby. And you know what? He might even be under pressure from Max Senna closing up on this too with some fresh rubber. Well, there you go. Jamie must have the biggest smile on the planet there, and the Alfa Romeo going. He probably might even feel bad about stealing that race victory away from the Ferrari driver if he can bring it home for a couple more laps.
Unfortunately, I cannot go on board with Jamie as he's got the RPM glitch for me, and I would probably rather sit next to a screaming bandsaw than listen to Codemaster's RPM glitch, but here we go. Max Senna hunting down Asher now. There's 3 laps left, and he's got to close a, 3-second gap? And I'm not sure if he can do it. We'll have to see.
He shaved half a second out of the first sector, but he needs more and more. I'm sure on the radio there that for the Red Bull team and his engineers are screaming at him going, you can do the last lap. Lando, Max Senna, you need to shave at least 2/10, but he's nursing a 6-second penalty, so all he's going to do right now is basically just get that little bit of a pride for trying to overtake him and bring the entertainment to this cracking race of Breakout Racing League. But obviously he will end up losing out that position on track. But, you know, drivers are drivers. They want to get the overtake done.
Absolutely. When the gauntlet comes down, you know that your penalties don't matter. You know that nothing else matters, but taking that position away and knowing that even though you're not going to get the second place that you think you deserve, you at least passed it, you got it on your virtue, you got it for yourself.
I've seen that in many, many league races before, as Little Tequila is going to get that little consolation prize there, back in P6 there, the Williams driver. He's probably wondering right now going, I should have been at the front there battling with these guys. I had the pace. It's proven he has the pace of 141.6 there. And, well, you know, unfortunately, his consolation prize will be P6 and an extra point for the fastest lap, because I don't think anybody at this point will be able to steal that one away from the Williams driver. But one thing that a driver has done this evening, and that's the Alfa Romeo driver. He's stolen that race win away from the Ferrari driver, who's done a fantastic job, obviously a very good job there on 21 lap hards. But at the end of the day, that strategy has really paid off there from Jamie, taking the extra pit stop. He did 4 laps on softs, he did 14 laps on mediums, and now he's going to do the final stint on 6 to 7 laps on mediums. And remember too that Asher in the Ferrari, he only boxed 1 time. He did 3 laps on the softs and then 21 laps on the hards, and he'll now be staring, not even seeing the back wing, I think, there of the Alfa Romeo driver, wondering what if my strategy was different this evening. But Javier doesn't need to worry about that. Javier is sitting there at the moment. I don't know, where are your references there, Jeb? I'm sure you have one in the back of your mind. Max Senna's boxing for some crazy... Oh, he has plenty of time anyway. Look at that, he's like a minute. He's a minute ahead.
That was the castle section. He visited the barber, shaved off his front wing, easy as you like, put it back on, and there we go. He's going to do the last lap as a sort of parade victory. He thought, you know, I'm not going to take the second place, so I might as well get the chop, and took off his front wing there. So that was a nice way to win the race, little present to the viewers, but unfortunately, that's all she wrote for this one, I think.
That's all she wrote, and the story and the end of this chapter of Baku here in Breakout Racing will be Javier as he comes around the final section here. Obviously, a very, very happy camper, and obviously getting the overtake done a couple laps earlier there. And he's going to be building that nice little 3.8 second gap there, bringing that Alfa Romeo home in style and pleasing that team there, outpacing the Alpha team of the Ferrari. So I'm sure he'll be looking at promoting himself up into... Well, do you really want to promote yourself up to a Ferrari? Because we all know recently Ferrari's not really been the best team. Asher has done an outstanding job, hasn't he, this evening? But that victory has been stolen away from the Ferrari driver. Across the line, Jamie will win this race, and he will do that obviously, with the biggest smile on his face there. The Ferrari driver of Abster has done a cracking job. We just mentioned Asher, sorry. And then Max Senna. Where's Max Senna? Still coming around the final couple of corners as well. So Max Senna is really not even going down to the back straight. That's to show you the domination of the Ferrari-powered cars this evening, hasn't it? P1, P2. Max Senna obviously nursing 6 seconds of penalties as well, but will still secure that P3 for the Red Bull. Not the race he wanted, but a podium is still guaranteed. And he's going to be going down the main straight right now and crossing the line and securing that final podium position here. Everybody gets points. The other Max, that's the Max Penna. He's at 15 laps. He's the other guy that's also run very, very long tires. He's the only other driver as well with Asher that's decided to take the one-stop strategy this evening. He ran a little bit deeper at the start of his segment. He did 9 laps on softs and decided to do 16 on hards. He'll be crossing that line and get that P4 position because it's so gapped out, even with those penalties. Kangas there still going to be climbing up through the... There. Well, I'll tell you what. That goes to show you how strategy can win you races, can't it?
Absolutely. I think, yep, there we go. Jamie getting driver of the day. And I think this has probably been one of the craziest races I have ever commentated.
Yep, well, forget about galaxies far, far away. There are not 2 droids, and these are not the droids you're looking for. That's the champagne you're looking for this evening, and the champagne you're going to get at the top step. Alfa Romeo, Ferrari dominance, actually, the Australian driver on the top step. Brilliant, brilliant drive. What is in the back of the mind, that Ferrari driver? We're going to find out, hopefully, in the interviews as well, as to, what went wrong, how it went wrong. So the Mexican driver. So there, you want to read through those results for us there, please, JB?
Oh, sorry, I've just disconnected.
Okay, I'll do that there. So Jamie will win this race victory. The Australian driver from P7 up into P1 there. Asher, probably wondering in the back of his mind, what happened? How did he lose that? And the Ferrari driver, but still a solid P2. Max Senna, the other Mexican driver in the Red Bull, will lose a couple of positions from that P1 qualifying position. Max Penna will get that P4. Kangas will get that P5. Little Tequila, probably wondering what happened from P2 down to P6 there. We'll still get that consolation prize of the fastest lap. And then the DNFs coming thick and fast from Jack, Capri, Exa, Javier, and Cal the Goat, our championship leader, was retired a long, long time ago. So we'll see if we can get some interviews in a minute, guys. If you want to have that, as we're going to mute just for a little bit there. We'll go back up to our scene. I don't really have the graphics all sorted out, but I'll tell you what, I do want to hear from the drivers, and if you guys want to hear from the drivers, by far, let's see if we can get that sorted. Back in a minute.
Alrighty, so after that race, we have our driver interviews. So we've got Jamie here, our race winner, the Australian on the top step of the podium. After Spain, where you came so close, Jamie, how did it feel to finally lift the trophy today?
Yeah, it was a pretty good race.
Yeah,
That's pretty
absolutely
much
from
it.
you.
Jamie, it sounds like you've had a little bit too much champagne, mate. Why are you not so ecstatic about that one?
Bro. People came upstairs. I couldn't really talk, but yeah, it was a good race. Good result. First win, so it's nice.
Did you think you were going to have that one towards the end there? Because obviously you had to get the job done. You had to get the job done on track there.
Well,
the tyres paid
I
off.
was gaining by about 2 seconds a lap, so it was in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna win this. I'm gonna win this. But sometimes doubt creeps in. But it's whatever.
But doubt obviously did not creep in for you this evening because your confidence made it happen. And well, brilliant, wasn't it? And you obviously finished in what bit of style there as well.
Yeah.
Is
Yes.
this a future? Is this the future of
Maybe.
you we're seeing here now?
Maybe. Who knows? Depends whether Cal can slow down or not.
Cal had retired from the race, and you capitalised on that, which was brilliant. I'm sure you probably would have
Yeah.
been loving to battle there. Obviously, can't take it away with that Ferrari drive. How was that battle with Asher as well? We're going to be speaking to Asher in just a minute in the interviews. Is that yeah? Go ahead.
I mean, Asher, he was a great battle. Obviously, I kind of just sat behind waiting for the DRS. For most of the time we're battling, I used DRS basically to pass him both times, but I got kicked out midway through. Literally, I was going through a corner and then just my whole game
Oh
just
yeah, we
crashed. My
saw
wheels
that as
froze.
well too. The DNF there cost a lot of time.
Yeah, it was a bit annoying. I was streaming at the time, and it was like, um, it was just like I just sat in OBS as the game crashed, and I was like, "What?" I had to get it restarted as quick as I can, but um, yeah, it was a pretty good race. Other than that, strategy, I was tempted to try and take the mediums to the end, and that's what I was going to do if it wasn't for that VSC that popped out. If it wasn't for that VSC, I would have actually just stayed out on the mediums and tried to take them to the end. But as soon as I saw that box for softs and got out just ahead of, I think it was Senna behind me.
That would have been absolutely interesting as well. You did 4 laps on the softs, you did 14 laps on those mediums, and then obviously that VSC was probably, I'd have to say, the best strategy call because then you could run 8 laps at the end on those fresh softs. At that point,
Yeah.
as we saw there on the stream, you had to basically eat the time throughout. Eating, I think even at some point you were eating 2 seconds a sector
Was
to
it?
the
I thought it was
Ferrari.
2 seconds a
So
lap, but
you
I'll
were
take
just
2 seconds a
no,
sector.
you were at some points you were just annihilating that time. Well, obviously, I'm taking away the hard tires are just 23 laps from
Yeah.
Asher. As brilliant as the driving that Asher did, like tires are tires, aren't they? At the end of the day, so that strategy obviously paid off. Obviously, your disconnection had hurt you a little bit, but at the end of the day, you still got the top step. You still got the win. Congratulations, mate.
Yep. Cheers, mate. First win for an Aussie. My first win in BRL. So I mean,
And I'm not tasting anything out of your shoe.
yeah. All good. All good.
But you can drink out of your shoe. And if you are streaming out there, because I believe you were, you have to
I
drink
was.
out.
I
You
ended
have
it.
to drink. Oh, you've just cancelled that, haven't you? I think the rule of thumb is, and anybody would have to agree, if you're an Australian driver and you win a race, in the league race, you have to drink out of your shoe. Even if it's
I
just some
saw Tess
sweaty
Science do it
water
a
or
couple.
whatever. It doesn't matter.
I saw my mate Tess Science do it. I might have to do it as well. So
You will have to do it.
um,
So the challenge is on, mate. Well, there's some more races to come. So if you
um
do win it
yeah,
again, you're gonna be drinking some sweaty sweat out of your shoey. Anyway,
brilliant.
good on you, Jebby. Who are we gonna call next for the interview?
Alrighty, so we've got a driver who debuted for Ferrari today. He started 5th and very nearly had the win. It's Asher, actually. So, Asher, let us know how that was, losing just there in the final couple of laps. You were going long on those hard tires. How did they feel?
They feel quite worn, obviously. I should have pitted in the virtual safety car. That was a mistake. But I think that in Baku, you have a clear race, you will end up in a great place.
Yeah, you did really well today, keeping it clean, keeping it reasonably sort of out of the wall, and you just sort of used that strategy to pull yourself up to a debut podium. So you got to be congratulated on that. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Nice debut in BRL. Let's try to keep the great result.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
congratulations to Ferrari driver. It's good to see a Ferrari back into the podium. And Asher, how were you feeling towards the end of that race, knowing, obviously, in your ear, Jeff was probably informing you of going on, that there was a very, very quick Alfa Romeo behind you. Did you think at some point you could probably at least try to hold him off there? Obviously, with the tyres weren't performing up there to the pace. Were you thinking about the the top step of the podium was up for grabs, or at that point you realize, you know what, it's not going to work? I don't know. Let me know. How'd you feel?
I think that when we were 3 laps to go, I think this is over, because he was catching like 2 seconds a lap, and my were 70% thing, I think, of worn. So it was quite bad at the end.
Yeah, that was my next question actually for you. We're hearing a little bit of a ruffle and sound and stuff like that from a microphone. But yeah, my question was, obviously 23 laps on those hard tires. So you said they were about 70% worn, is that correct?
Yeah, I even had very luck to finish the race because 2 more laps and I didn't make it.
Oh, that was close then. Well, we are glad you did make it, obviously, and on the second step of the podium. And how did you feel about that race? Do you think you could bring it to the next race? If you're obviously a reserve driver, are you looking forward to, or if you get the opportunity to drive again for the Ferrari team?
Yeah, I would like to drive again for Ferrari, and I don't know which is the next race, but I will try to practice a little more and try to go for the win.
Well, congratulations, sir. Obviously, it was very entertaining, and you definitely delivered a performance this evening, and we're looking forward to seeing, obviously, in Breakout Racing League, more driving from you. So, congratulations. You sound like you are Latin American or something. I'm not quite sure. I'm not trying to where you're from in the world, sir?
I'm from Mexico.
Mexico. So, would you like to shout out to everybody in your native Espanol language there, your thoughts of the race or anything you'd like to say in Espanol?
Ok, esperemos que Checo Pérez lo haga bien en la carrera del domingo y que saque un podio o una victoria.
Perfecto. So if you let's brush up on your Spanish, guys. If you don't, I actually understood exactly what you said, but you guys need to do that. So, Jebby?
I heard Perez.
Yeah, we got the Perez. Unfortunately, I don't speak Spanish, so. But unfortunately, Senna will not be joining us in the interview. So I think that's it today.
I think we can. Yeah, exactly. You're right. We'll go back to real quick there to Exa, obviously, who's putting this league on, and the man in charge there, one of the top dogs. He pays our salary, by the way, Jeb. I don't know if you.
No pressure.
Well, obviously, the salary is in love. We don't get paid anything. Exa, you'd like to run through everybody how you felt about this race. Obviously, you were driving there, one of the early retirements. What's up next? What can we expect? And obviously, give a bit of a shout. This is the time to promote BRL, isn't it?
Well, of course. Breakout Racing League. I mean, this is our second season for the F1 PC tier. We're expanding, but you know what I mean. Like, I wanna give everybody, especially the drivers that came out and participated in Baku. Of course, Baku is always a very hard and tricky track. But we do go into Canada, a little bit more less aggressive track. And I mean, I'm just thrilled with the guys that drove and raced. I mean, Asher, podium, debut race, racing for Ferrari. He will be a permanent driver. He came in, he took, I believe it was Fredhead's seat. So we'll definitely get to see him more in the Ferrari battling up front, which is good. Hopefully to take it to Cal the Goat, and especially with Jamie there. We're always looking for newer drivers to come in here and want to race and help, for a nice, fun event, but also being competitive as well. But we also have other, like we talked about last week, the Xbox Series. We also have the iRacing team. They're partaking in the 12 Hours of Sebring right now on our YouTube channel as well. And then, we also have Assetto Corsa that's starting up here on PC as well.
Wow. Motor racing, isn't it? That's why it's the Breakout Racing League. So good on you, mate, and I do appreciate you, Thank you very much for allowing me up into the commentary box. Obviously, Jeb as well. I love commentating. If you didn't hear all those brilliant references that Jeb has as a commentator, I was trying. I'm going to probably go back and make notes about that, Jeb. You are brilliant as a commentator, and I do appreciate you Thank you very much. The New Zealand, we're like a bit of a thunder from down under, aren't we? Between the Aussie and Kiwis in the commentary box. And obviously, Exit, thank you very much. And thank you very much to all the drivers for putting in a brilliant effort. There was, it's never, it doesn't have to be a full grid to provide brilliant racing entertainment. And the drivers are obviously ecstatic. And it's fun. I enjoy this. And, Breakout Racing League, guys. Sign up, be a part. So thank you very much. We'll end this one right now. Driver interviews are done and dusted. This race is done and dusted for Baku. Obviously, the titles are not correct at the moment. That will be corrected because there's so much racing entertainment going on, isn't there, on the Twitch channel, the main Twitch channel at the moment, of Breakout Racing League and the YouTube. I don't know how you guys manage it. So much racing. So thank you.
Go ahead.
No, you're right. Go ahead, sir.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Yep, that'll be
Take
it.
care, buddy.
We'll call that one. Jebby,
See you
thank you
later.
very much, mate. You know how much I love commentating with you. You're an absolutely fantastic, outstanding commentating. So
Thank you, Bo.
Oh, cheers. I
Thank you,
can't take
Bo.
all the credit, you know.
good on you.
I
No,
mean-
you can take the credit, sir, because those puns, I'll tell you what. I'm pretty well sure that Crofty is writing these notes down right now if he's going to watch this feedback later. So good on you, mate. Good on everybody for Breakout Racing League. Thank you very much. Take care. Stay safe. Same place, same time. Next race. Good night.